Now it's 6:30 p.m.
Now at 6:30, big development in a hit-and-run crash that knocked a young man off his bike weeks after he was told no one could face charges. The search is now on for a suspect. Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30 getting results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Mormouth. For a quarter century, he has lived in a place where there might be more horses than people. And now he fears the city is not just creeping closer, it's about to take over.
When we moved up here, we said, well, at least, this won't be another Claremont. Well, it may be. Growth has to be done smart.
And that's not what you see with this.
No, this is not smart. This is just dense growth. Again, that's like a city here in the middle of the country.
A developer's big plans to turn pasture and scrubland into thousands of homes, apartments, shops, and more. Balancing growth versus rural life. That's ahead of my Boomtown report.
But we start tonight with a big change to get results for parents. Now, Orange County's superintendent announced starting next month, a call will go out if kids are absent at the start of the day, with a second alert sent out at the end of the school day. The changes come after thousands signed an online petition following the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. News 6's Emily McLeod explains the change and what it means.
Orange County Public Schools announcing new changes to their absence notification policy. This comes nearly 2 weeks after 13-year-old Madeline Soto was found dead after she was reported missing. Her case now shedding light on the absence notification policy.
This horrific tragedy that happened just a couple weeks ago, or if not just a week ago, it happened in District 3, a student who attended one of my schools.
School board members meeting on Tuesday where Superintendent Maria Vasquez announced changes to the policy. The changes are expected to give parents an additional call at the beginning of the day, but parents will still receive a call at the end of the day. We caught up with tech expert Chris Hadnaghy, aka the Human Hacker, on Zoom while he was in between presentations at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, to learn what he does to keep his family safe.
I'm an Android user and my daughter is an Apple user. We used Life 360 and we did it non-invasively. So when I talked to her, it was, hey, I want this on your phone so you can track me and so I can track you.
Hadnaghy says he and his daughter also created a safe word as a way to immediately let the other person know they're in trouble.
If she ever sent me a text with that word and she knew, we talked about it, no joking, this cannot ever be a joke. Like if you send that to me, I'm going to get your last location and I'm going to be there in minutes.
But what about kids who don't have a cell phone?
There are smart watches that also have GPSs in them. There are devices that are specifically for small children that are GPS trackers, like they're little, like what looks like a tile, and they can go into your daughter or son's backpack, and then you have an app on your phone, and it can tell you where they are at all times.
The new policy is expected to be implemented on April 8th after spring break. As far as next year goes, district officials are working on a plan to allow parents to check their child's attendance in real time through the online portal. For now, reporting in Orange County, I'm Emily McLeod, getting results, News 6.
And a shorter summer is becoming reality for parents and students at one Brevard County campus. A pilot program puts Challenger 7 Elementary in Port St. John a lot closer to year-round classes. Last year, when the last bell rang on May 26, those students enjoyed a traditional 76-day summer vacation. But this year, they'll be back to just 59 days later to start the new school year. News 6's James Barbero asks parents how they feel about the plan.
So it might sound strange to you thinking about sending your kids off to school in July, but here at Challenger 7 Elementary in Port St. John, there was a time when this school was year-round, like the calendar it's going back to now. And families I'm speaking to are familiar with how that went. Families who tell me here in the carpool line, they had a good experience.
I think it will be a great way for the students to have more breaks more often, so we don't get such a big summer break. Just keep their brains moving.
So also in the carpool line, I found Adrian Williams, who has a different opinion. Adrian, why are you not so excited to hear about this change being approved?
It's because I have multiple kids in different schools. I feel like it's just too much for those kids to deal with.
And by the way, the chair of the school board, Megan Wright, she went to school here when she was growing up. Now, for now, Challenger 7 is the only Brevard public school planning on making this change. But at yesterday's board meeting, Wright sounded pretty interested in expanding on that idea. Take a listen.
It's something I think that we should look at exploring maybe beyond just one school. This calendar is very, very, very attractive to a lot of people.
But for the families who do not wish to continue sending their kids to school here, the district wants to help place those children in the two other elementary schools in Port St. John. The district is asking that those families take its survey. We've posted a link to that survey on clickorlando.com. For everyone else who's on board, school here starts July 22nd next year. In Port St. John, Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, getting results, News 6.
Marion County was also selected in the pilot program. The district told News 6 Wyomina Park Elementary School could begin the modified calendar in August. Now, a lot of people have mixed views on the idea. We put a poll on clickorlando.com last month where 63% of people said they did not think school should go year-round. You can weigh in too at clickorlando.com.
Big developments tonight in a hit-and-run crash that left many of you pretty upset about what happened. Palm Bay police say they now know who hit a 25-year-old member of the Coast Guard and kept going. Weeks ago, they went to make an arrest. That 25-year-old reached out to News 6 for help. Weeks after his crash was caught on camera. It happened in January at the intersection of Eldrin Boulevard and Collins Street. Detectives initially told the victim they found the truck but could not prove who was driving. He shared his frustrations with News 6's James Sparvero.
You were injured in this too. Tell us how hurt you were.
Yeah, I suffered multiple fractures of my spine and bruising and swelling.
Is this okay with you that somebody hit you like this, injured you, and they got away with it essentially?
Yeah, it's not fair. I like to see the person take accountability of their actions.
What if they had a one-on-one conversation with you? What would you say to them?
I was like, why you did this? Or like, and also, why did you just leave? It's definitely a very traumatic event for me and my family as well.
Palm Bay police say they are now looking to make an arrest and arrest this man, 23-year-old Armando Martinez. This is a past mugshot. They say he will face several charges, including leaving the scene of a crash and driving with a suspended license. Community tips led them to put out a warrant for his arrest. If you know where he is, you're asked to call Crime Line at 800-423-TIPS.
Tonight, big pushback against big plans for growth in Lake County. Developers want to put up more than 1,700 homes and apartments spread out over a 466-acre property, a mixed-use development that would also bring shops, restaurant, and businesses. But as you can see, right now, this is a rural corner of Lake County. People living there now value their quiet atmosphere, and they want to preserve it. It's along County Road 437 and State Road 46, just south of Sorrento. One gentleman told me this project is like putting a city in the middle of the country.
There's just so much beauty in nature here that needs to be protected.
For 26 years, J.J. Johnson has enjoyed the rural character of Sorrento. It's quiet here. There actually might be more horses than people.
When we moved up here, we said, well, at least, this won't be another Claremont. Well, it may be.
Like Claremont, much of Lake County's landscape is changing. Rapid growth, fueling development, and it's creeping closer to the Mount Plymouth, Sorrento area.
The Wekiva parkways that came through, we knew it was going to bring people, but the growth has to be done smart.
And that's not what you see with this.
No, this is not smart. This is just dense growth.
There's now a proposal to transform 466 acres south of State Road 46 into a mixed-use development called Hillcrest, a combination of houses, apartments, and townhomes, more than 1,700 total units, plus 300,000 square feet of commercial space.
There's nothing like that around here. That's like a city here in the middle of the country. Because it's going to go from being a rural community into sub-rural at worst, if not becoming suburban, as Apopka keeps on getting closer and closer. Or Mount Dora keeps on coming closer and closer, trying to take over parts of this area, which is just badly affecting our quality of life here.
It is certainly a challenge to be in charge of planning and zoning anywhere in the state of Florida right now.
As Lake County's Director of Planning and Zoning, Michael Fitzgerald often hears from neighbors concerned with proposed developments. It's part of his job. But are those concerns heard?
We absolutely take into consideration how projects like this affect the lifestyle in Lake County. One thing that everybody has to remember is that quality of life means something different to everybody. For some folks, it may mean 10 acres of property. To other folks, it may mean an apartment with a Starbucks on the first floor, So we just have to be mindful of what quality of life means to different people.
The Hillcrest development still has some hurdles to clear, including approval from Lake County commissioners. It's a vote Johnson will be watching closely.
I think that they need to protect certain areas, and they can build bigger buildings, in cities.
Right, you moved here for that.
Yes, exactly.
Life.
Yes.
And now
we're going to have to move again.
You think so?
Oh yeah, well, definitely.
All right, so this project falls in the Mount Plymouth Sorrento Community Redevelopment Area, or CRA. So Lake County is pretty eager to revitalize and inject some new life into the neighborhood. And they also need more housing, as do so many places here in Central Florida. But Lake County especially, they expect to add another 75,000 new residents, Ginger, just by 2030.
Okay, and 2030 is right around the corner. And you're talking about adding like the city the size of Daytona Beach to one area. That's insane. But that's what we're seeing all over Central Florida now.
It really is. It's happening all over those rural pockets. As you heard from him, he was talking about perhaps moving. But I asked him, where would you move? He said, I haven't thought that far away. But he did recognize that those rural parts of Central Florida are starting to go away.
It's a thing of the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's sad. I mean, if we could preserve that, that would be so nice, but that space is valuable.
It is.
All right.
It is.
Well, our booming population led to last night's question of the day. While far more people moved to town, new Census Bureau numbers showed 250,000 people moved from Central Florida counties from 2016 to 2020, while about 2/3 moved to a different Florida county. So large numbers left Orange County for Georgia, Texas, California, and North Carolina. Our digital team put together these interactive maps showing where they went. You can check out them county by county. Inside the story, you'll find it on clickorlando.com.
So last night we asked, do you have plans to move out of Central Florida? Close to 1,500 of you weighed in over the past day. Overwhelmingly, 76% of you have no plans to leave our little corner of paradise.
Do you blame them?
I do not.
Not at all. Okay, so for tonight's question of the day, we turn to one of the top stories trending tonight on clickorlando.com. SpaceX is counting down to a sunset launch from Kennedy Space Center, sending up more Starlink internet satellites at 7:29. But while researching the mission, our digital team crunched the numbers.
Yeah, so it turns out SpaceX already has about 6,000 Starlink satellites in orbit. Not shocking when you cover every single one of them, and they're now serving more than 500,000 customers, and that's out of billions of people. Starlink has plans to at least double its constellation to 12,000 small satellites. So tonight's 6:30 question of the day, is SpaceX launching too many of those Starlink satellites? You can vote now at clickorlando.com/react. So far, only a couple dozen of you have weighed in, and you're pretty split on this. Again, the place to vote is clickorlando.com/react.
I mean, I thought the number would be larger than 6,000 because they have launches all the time.
Well, they don't have to cover them at 1:30 in the morning.
That is correct.
Like you do.
Seems like more. All right, if you have your phone out, open your camera, scan the QR code on your screen. The link will take you to the poll. We'll have the results tomorrow night right here at 6:30. I'm really interested to see what people are talking about in that one. Our second top trending story right now, the U.S. House passes a bill that could lead to a TikTok ban if Chinese owners refuse to sell. Now, that vote was overwhelmingly bipartisan, and it now heads to the Senate.
Yeah, critics fear the popular video app is a national security threat. They say the Chinese government could use TikTok to influence Americans, even interfere in elections.
Opponents say banning TikTok interferes with free speech. And tonight's third top trending story has racked up more than 100,000 views. What? In just about a day. The headline, Winter's Revenge, blast of cold air to invade Florida as spring begins. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas talks about it in his latest Weather-Wise podcast. He says models have called for a cool down for a while.
We did the homework. We did kind of the atmospheric. We looked for those clues in the atmosphere a couple of weeks ago that pointed to this. And then here is our big dip in the jet stream. And it's even more significant on the European depiction here as we move through March 18th. So it is going to be really, really chilly in the Northeast. We're going to get some of that. So those temperatures we had this weekend, especially on Saturday, those aren't sticking around for too much longer.
And you can catch Weatherwise with Jonathan Kagas weekday mornings at 8 right here on News 6 Plus. It's warm right now, but are those models on to something?
Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells, you started showing a big cool down at the end of last night's 7-day forecast.
Oh, it's still on the way, just, not tonight. Temperature reading for tonight looks great. 81 degrees, mostly cloudy. Temps are dropping to 74 by 9 o'clock. By 11 p.m., still 71. I'll be back to pinpoint when that front gets here and just how much cooler things will be when spring arrives.
Also, for a decade, they've been getting results, building bionic limbs for kids free of charge. Now Disney is giving a big boost. Up next, how the mouse is helping the college students who work there.
Plus, more proof when you push the frontier of space. Sometimes you get pushback. What we've learned about the explosive end to a first-of-its-kind rocket launch.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30, live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Maitland, Groveland, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Now at 6:30, it's a nonprofit we have followed from the start, one known for creating free bionic arms for children in need. Tonight, UCF-based Limitless Solutions is getting a big financial boost from Disney.
Yeah, Limitless first made headlines nationwide back in 2015 when one of their first patients received an Iron Man arm from Robert Downey Jr. himself. And now Disney is funding an $80,000 grant to help support several students. News 6's Ezzy Castro spoke to one of those students who wants to keep getting results and keep helping families.
So on any given day, you never quite know what it will bring, and that's what makes it a lot of fun here.
Albert Monero, co-founder and executive director of Limitless Solutions, says the work here doesn't stop. From 3D printing to video game designing, students are more than happy to learn and create.
Our student program really represents the full picture of UCF, and being able to bring in people from all those different disciplines and different backgrounds helps us be able to create that new technology, as well as being able to make it as seamless for the families as they start to learn how to use our bionic arm.
Among those students, Courtney Williams, a health sciences major who is getting ready to graduate with her degree in May.
A lot of math, a lot of science, huh?
Yes,
nice.
Definitely.
Kudos.
Williams told me she received some help this semester through a Disney grant aimed at funding STEM students here at UCF. She says her next stop is grad school.
Did you ever expect to have a grant like towards the end of, your journey right here?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So I was promoted to like an associate role my last semester.
Okay.
Really wasn't expecting anything. I was just having fun, like helping out at Limitless. So I was very grateful for the opportunity.
Limitless Solutions has helped 50 families since 2014. And Disney has been part of the journey too, helping the organization upgrade their technology through grants.
So what I have here is a bionic arm that's being controlled by John, one of the co-founders. Hi, John.
Hi.
Thanks for showing us this.
No problem.
Well, one of the things that we learned today was that you guys are getting results with Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital, recruiting families for a clinical trial to expand this program.
So the students are getting such a good experience while they're here, and then the end result is life-changing technology for kids.
At UCF, Ezzy Castro getting results, News 6.
Cannot say enough good things about them. And Limitless has grown a lot since I first met the people behind it in 2014. And so has the little boy with the Iron Man arm. Late last year, Matt Austin and I caught up with Alex Pring on Florida's 4th Estate. He is now a sophomore in high school. He was in elementary school when I met him. And he's overcoming the odds by playing football at South Lake High School. And Justin, Alex told me he was inspired by UCF star Shaquem Griffith.
Yeah, hard not to be inspired by him. I do remember when he came to the station.
I met him in the parking lot and I was like, hello?
I know, huge.
So it's so nice to see that he has grown in so many ways.
Nothing can stop you.
No, that's what he said, and I love that about him. So you can watch our entire conversation with Alex by going to clickorlando.com/FFE.
And to find out some more about the technology behind Limitless and how it's getting results for children needing prosthetics, you can also check out News 6 investigator Eric Sandoval's Solutionary segment. That's also on clickorlando.com or News 6 Plus. Just look under Solutionaries.
All right, you might say an attempt to get a new rocket off the ground failed to launch, or at least failed a few moments later. Tokyo-based startup Space One tried to send up the first satellite on a private Japanese rocket. Unfortunately, though, it blew up shortly after liftoff. We don't know yet what went wrong. Now, no one was hurt, but this failed launch sparked a brush fire.
SpaceX would have called that a rapid, unscheduled disassembly of the rocket.
Kaboom.
Yes, translation. The company is hoping that won't happen tomorrow morning. Near Boca Chica, Texas, SpaceX confirmed it could send up the third test launch of its ultra-heavy rocket Starship as soon as 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, our time. Starship aims to be a reusable rocket and spacecraft designed to take humans and cargo around the world to the moon, eventually Mars. NASA's even counting on it to be the lander that plants the Artemis 3 astronauts back on the moon.
I do want to remind everyone that everything after clearing the tower was icing on the cake.
It was like a confetti cake.
It was.
but first, Starship has to make it into orbit. It came close in the second test flight back in November. But like the first test, Starship ended up exploding by self-destructing. Still, SpaceX says they learned a lot of valuable lessons in all of this. And we'll be able to watch as the company counts down tonight in Texas.
Absolutely. And we're counting down to a launch here on the Space Coast, too. Take a look at this.
There's the clock.
There's the clock.
That could be about an hour away, a little more than that now. SpaceX is sending up more Starlink internet satellites from Kennedy Space Center. The time has changed. The launch was just pushed back to 7:51. We'll bring it to you live here on News 6 Plus and clickorlando.com. The forecast calls for a 60% chance of good weather. I wonder why it's not higher than that, Tom. What's going on
I think it
out
must be
there?
the winds aloft.
Okay.
Because the cloud cover's not bad at all.
No, it seems beautiful out there. All right, let's get to that forecast because it's nice.
Let's go. We had a daytime high today that's way above normal, and tomorrow we'll do even better. Take a look at radar right now. Much of this moisture looks, well, you think, wow, that's impressive, but I don't think much of this is making it to the ground. Haven't heard any reports from anyone who's had rain that actually piled up. If you have scattered showers to get to, tell me. Write me on Facebook or something. Let me know what's going on. Checked earlier in Alachua County. It had not been making it to the ground at that time. Big changes are on the way. We're going to a daytime high by Sunday of 89 degrees. Then on Monday, 83, and boom. Spring arrives on Tuesday. The daytime high looks to be 71. Overnight low this morning was 58. We made it to a daytime high of 84. 5 degrees above the norm, about 6 degrees below the record. So overall good. Can you imagine if it was 36 degrees today, like it was back in 1983? That was a very cold March. Daytona Beach this go around looking great. Temperature reading 71. Holding in at the port with a reading of 75. Temps where you live tonight. So we head into the evening, 73 in Gainesville, 72 Ocala, 76 in Leesburg, and 81 right now at OIA. Still 81 degrees at almost 7 p.m. Even now, we're still above what should be the daytime high. Wind speed and direction, part of the equation. Everything southerly during the day today. Tomorrow, those wind gusts get to 25, and we do that again on Friday. Wind gusting up to about 25 miles per hour. Rain chances are negligible all the way until about Sunday night into Monday, when that cold front finally gets here. Big ridge of high pressures are a dominant weather feature for now, keeping all of the big activity back out to the north and the west at bay. Here's your cold front. Right now it's south of Denver, north of Albuquerque, but will be pushed all the way in here by Sunday night. There goes the high. Southerly flow continues. The front is on the way, but again, cannot make it until late Sunday or midday Monday. In the meantime, our rain chances that we just talked about are small, small, small. But during the day tomorrow, the East Coast sea breeze will kick in by noon. There she blows and then push all the way inland by the afternoon with maybe a sprinkle or a spritz of rain, but no big storms tomorrow. We're too dry for that. As we roll away all the way into Friday, we're still dry. Lows tonight, 50s and 60s, 63 in Orlando. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
It's Pi Day, 314, 63 degrees at 8 a.m. The daytime high is 85. Come look at the week ahead. 85 tomorrow, 87 Friday, and close to 90 for the weekend before the big cold front brings rain on Monday, and a cool 71 for the arrival of spring.
All right, Tom, thank you. One local city hopes its cutest visitor will hit the road.
Ahead at 6:30, the story behind video shot in Oviedo going viral. What City Hall is saying about this adorable animal encounter.
Tonight on ET.
Ready. Olivia Munn details her breast cancer battle. Plus, Matthew Perry's stepdad speaks out.
He said himself, if I suddenly died, not too many people would be surprised.
You don't want to miss it. That's tonight at 7. But stay right here because News 6 will be right back.
All right, a reminder, 7 of our lucky insiders will walk away with a new 6 swag bag. It's filled with goodies like a coffee mug, umbrella, fanny pack, a headshot of ginger, and much more. You can enter every day to win. It's free to become an insider. Just head to clickorlando.com/insider, confirm your email, and then enter to win those swag bags.
All right, Oviedo City Hall is warning people to not feed any wild animals in the area. That's after someone paid a surprise visit. So take a look. This cute fella is Rocky. This video posted on Facebook shows the raccoon tapping on a second-floor window at the City Hall in Oviedo. Leaders say they suspect Rocky was looking for a bite to eat and apparently was not afraid of getting close. He's like, let me in. The city of Oviedo says this is a good opportunity to remind neighbors and those visiting to not feed wild animals. As the Post puts it, leave them be and they will go on their merry way to forage in the wild. But come on, if I have a donut and Rocky wants a donut, guess what Rocky's getting?
I mean, let's be real though. The wild, you mean the trash can around the corner? That's where they get their food.
Yeah, he's just looking.
I'll tell you, Guardians of the Galaxy has made me super.
I love raccoons
I
now.
got a connection with the raccoons more than ever.
Seriously, we all do. Tom, have you seen?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know. I
Trash
know it.
pandas.
Anyway.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Come on. He needs help. We can't help him right now. We're out of time. Thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We break news on clickorlando.com. We'll see you back here tonight at 11. Take care.
You watch movies?